Today's video is on cold weather riding. So I'm going to go through some gear that I use when riding in the cold weather. Now this doesn't mean that what I use is what you have to use, and I'm not going to give any requirements such as when it's 40 degrees outside you have to wear this, or when it's 60 degrees you wear this, because wind conditions, the sun, clouds, the type of terrain, the intensity, duration, the type of person you are, how easily you get cold, all of that factors into what clothing you'll wear. However, my big takeaways are that you never want to be really warm or even hot when you start the ride. So you want to be a little bit cool or just comfortable. You want to have layers. So whenever you're riding, you want to be able to strip things off. It's a lot easier to get warm and then take things off than to wish you would have had something to make you warm. And also, it's going to take a few times for you to figure out what type of weather matches with what type of gear and vice versa. So you may want to keep some loops close to home the first few times that you're riding out in cold weather, just to figure out what clothing will work best for you. Now first I'm going to start off with gear that everybody should have no matter where you live. So if you live in Florida or if you live up north and you never ride outside because it's just not safe or the weather's not suitable, we still want you to have this gear. So the first is just some type of base layer. Now you can search for cycling base layer, but I just use just a tight fitting shirt, something that's kind of skin tight that I can wear under either a jersey, a jacket, a long sleeve jersey. This is just going to help keep your chest warm while riding. So definitely want some type of base layer that you can wear. I also recommend some kind of ear coverings because our ears can tend to get cold in the wind, and with our helmet on, we want to keep our ears nice and warm. So I have a few different varieties. I have your typical kind of headband type thing that is big enough to go over my ears. I have one that's designed to go over the ears. I have one that Velcros a lot softer. So I have this one that I can put on like this and easy to take on and off. And then I have a fleece one as well. So these things should be very easy to find. Now, as far as a hat goes, I think a hat is a good idea. This one has a little hole for the females or guys with the man buns, long hair, can put it through there, but you lose a lot of heat through your head, so sometimes it can be good to have some kind of skull cap to wear under your helmet. Now, I also recommend arm warmers, and I recommend at least 2 different pairs. I recommend a light pair and then maybe a heavier pair. So for example, I have these arm warmers that are super light, just very, very thin arm warmers. And what's great about these is when I know I'm gonna be getting warm, but I just want something covering my arms when I start the ride, I would choose these. I have kind of an in-between pair, so these are a little warmer. And then I have some that have a little bit more of a lining, little thicker pair to wear. Now, sometimes when I'm riding, I may have a jacket or a long sleeve jersey, and instead of wearing a long sleeve shirt as a base layer, I'll just put arm warmers on with my base layer t-shirt so that when I am riding and I get warmed up, I can easily pull off these arm warmers under the jacket and start getting rid of some heat. I also recommend that everybody has a good pair of riding gloves. Now you may have some running gloves, but these tend to be, not all, but some of them tend to be a little bit more bulky and loose, and we just want to think about being able to use our fingers for our gears and brakes when we're riding. So I recommend something a bit more snug. These are actually running gloves, but I love wearing these when I ride. We also want something that's going to go over the wrist a little bit so that you can put a long sleeve jersey or jacket over it so that you don't get air in there. So these are good. These are very light, but sometimes I just want to keep my fingers warm, so I would choose these. And then I also have 2 pairs of gloves. These are a little bit heavier, and then I have these that are a little bit heavier. So when I say heavier, just a little thicker to keep your fingers warm. And then these are my heavy duty riding gloves for the cold. Nobody likes cold fingers or cold toes. So speaking of cold toes, I recommend that everybody has a pair of shoe covers. So these will zip up. You put them over your shoe after you've already put your shoe on and tighten it and strapped yourself in. So these shoe covers, they go up to about the lower part of the ankle. And then I also recommend to have toe covers. So the toe covers, you can put these on and just put them on your shoe, and then you can put your shoe on, your cycling shoe, and these are gonna keep your toes nice and warm. But I do recommend both of them. Keeping your extremities, your head, your arms, your fingers, and your toes or feet warm is really important in cold weather riding. Now, you may not need this, but I do like having some buffs. So we just put these around our neck, and then you can kind of tuck them in. And you can also wear these for running as well in the cold weather, but we can put them around our neck. And what's nice about these is that you can also put them over your nose. This one has a little drawstring, so I can tighten it and put it over my nose, because sometimes we get really cold on our cheeks and our nose, and we're losing a lot of air when we breathe. So this just kind of keeps everything in. So I do recommend the buffs if you're riding outside in cold weather. Now, as far as our lower extremity goes, there are knee warmers. So this would be just that you want to keep your knees covered. I recommend that you either have these knee warmers, or you could use bibs to help keep them up. And a lot of the cycling bibs and tights have a chamois in them. If you're choosing just to wear running tights, make sure you have cycling shorts underneath that give you the chamois to protect yourself, and then put the tights over it. Now, I also have a variety of leg warmers. So these go all the way up to the thigh, top of the thighs, and I have a variety of pairs. So I have a nice warm pair of leg warmers. I have a very light pair of leg warmers, and then I kind of have a medium pair of leg warmers. And the thing with your arm warmers and your leg warmers, you never want to have cold muscles when you're riding. So even if you know that you're going to warm up, or maybe it's just one of those days where it's like, should I wear them, should I not? Having a light pair is better than nothing. You can always take them off, but I like to keep my extremities warm when I'm riding the bike, and it's nice to have a variety of pairs. Now, as far as our upper body goes, I have a variety of jerseys. So these are long sleeve jerseys, and I would usually wear a base layer underneath, and I like that it has a zipper, so when I get warm I can kind of zip it down, let the air in. And also all of my long sleeve jerseys have pockets like a regular jersey to put your phone or nutrition. So it's really important that you don't just wear a long sleeve shirt, you actually have a true cycling long sleeve jersey. Now I have a lighter long sleeve jersey here, so this is another one. And of course we have our jackets that we offer you guys. We have these, and they have the pockets in the back. And then I also have a kind of like a rain jacket, a little heavier jacket. It does have a waterproof pocket in the back. And this is nice if we were to ride and it starts, I don't know, lightly raining out or sleeting. This may be a good option. And then a vest is also a good thing to have. What's great about a vest is you may go out riding, but you know you're going to be doing some climbing. You get warm on the climb, but it's cooler up at the top of the climb, and then you descend and you're cold and shivering when you descend. So putting on a vest is really nice just to keep your chest and back warm. And then lastly, I have a heavier jacket. So this would be, at least for me, I would wear this when it's under 40 degrees. And I usually put a base layer, maybe arm warmers or a long sleeve shirt underneath this. But this is for those really cold days. And everything that I've shown you here is very, is close to skin fit as possible, so really tight fitting, not uncomfortable tight, but we don't want it bulky and hitting the wind and then you're uncomfortable. You know, when you ride in this type of gear in the winter, you have a lot of bulk. There's a lot of things on you, so you don't feel as comfortable as when you just have, you know, 2 pieces of clothing on or 1 piece of clothing on. So it does take some getting used to, and so you want everything to feel very fit to you, so it's not rubbing around or moving. The other thing is you want to get comfortable taking things off and putting things in your pockets. So you're also carrying more items when you do ride in the winter. So that's something else to get used to. I hope this helps. Again, it doesn't mean that you have to have all of this. It may look like a lot, but it really does help, at least me, enjoy the winter riding. I really enjoy riding, and I'll ride even if it's in the low 30s. It's just all about having the right gear. Of course, make sure it's safe outside, and you want to check the weather to know how much is it going to warm up, what's the wind like, what's the sun going to be like. All of that will factor into what type of clothing you have. If you have any questions, let me know, comment, and thanks for watching. Happy riding.